This is Politicos 254 with yet another video on law, power and politics. So, let's talk about Kenya's moment on the world stage at the 80th UN General Assembly in New York. You see, this was President Ruto's biggest platform yet to sell his vision of Kenya as a global leader and a voice for the global south. And the strategy was clear and ambitious. First off, it's about championing the UN Security Council reform through the African Union's Committee of 10, otherwise known as the C10, pushing for the demand for 2 permanent African seats. Secondly, solidifying Kenya's role as a security guarantor by leading the charge for the Haiti mission, seeking more international support and funding. Thirdly, it's about advancing climate action, positioning Nairobi as a green hub. And lastly, to strengthen bilateral ties, especially with the US, on key critical issues like trade. Now, on paper, there have been some real wins. The high-level meeting on Haiti did secure some support for strengthening the mission. Also, Kenya's stance on supporting a 2-state solution for Israel and Palestine aligns with international law and principle. Also, the promotion of Nairobi's UN office upgrade reinforces our city's diplomatic importance. So, the agenda was set and the ambitions are high, but as the high-level week unfolded, the script didn't quite go as planned. And the story behind the headlines is where things get really interesting. Now, let's get to the core of the diplomatic drama, which is the African Union C10 summit. This was supposed to be a powerful, united African front celebrating 20 years of the Ezulwini consensus. President Ruto, as a C10 member, was co-chairing. This was Kenya's chance to lead the charge for a more equitable United Nations. But the room told a different story. Instead of a gathering of African heavyweights, reports indicate that only a few heads of state, like Mauritania's president and the outgoing AUC chair, were prominently present. Key players from Algeria, Egypt and Zimbabwe, among others, were notably absent or represented at a lower level. So, what happened? Guys, this isn't by coincidence. This is a symptom of deeper issues. You see, Kenya's foreign policy moves have ruffled feathers. Its perceived alignment with certain actors in the complex Sudan conflict, for example, has created tensions with neighbors. There's also a sense that Kenya's assertive global posture isn't matched by real diplomacy within Africa. The result? A summit meant to showcase African unity instead highlighted its fractures. For President Ruto, who has invested heavily in a Pan-Africanist image, this was a significant, visible setback. It risks undermining Kenya's credibility in broader international goals like the Kenyan Haiti mission and the championing of climate change issues. Yeah, so guys, if you've made it this far into the video, you can like, share and subscribe to this channel. You can also support us on the M-Pesa till below. Your donations will enable us to continue bringing this kind of content to your screen. Thank you. While dealing with snobs from its African peers, Kenya was also facing a major issue from its most important ally, the United States. And this is where a massive financial investment seems to have hit a wall. Guys, reports confirm that Kenya has spent hundreds of millions of shillings on high-powered US lobbyists. And the goals were concrete: secure the renewal of AGOA trade benefits, unlock funding for the Haiti mission, and advance the major non-NATO ally status. But the return on investment has been minimal. The US has frozen millions of dollars in aid for the Haiti mission, pending a review. Also, there's no firm commitment on AGOA, which puts billions of shillings in exports and thousands of jobs at risk. So, why the cold shoulder? Guys, it's all about geopolitics. You see, the current US administration has shifted its focus elsewhere. And to make the discontent even starker, while Ruto is on the global stage pushing climate action as an economic opportunity, President Trump addressed the UN General Assembly publicly calling out climate change as a scam. Kenya's lobbying, no matter how expensive, can't easily overcome these macro-political realities. It reveals a painful truth that you can pay to get a seat at the table, but you can't force the other guests to listen to you. So, What's the final verdict on Kenya's UN General Assembly 2025? It's a story of contrasts. There were some tactical wins on Haiti and diplomacy, but they were overshadowed by strategic setbacks in African unity and US relations. But the most important part of this story is the disconnect between this global ambition and the domestic reality. Back at home, Kenyans are dealing with economic pressures and demands for accountability, symbolized by tragedies like the death of Simon Waroi in police custody. Also, when the public sees millions spent on lobbying for goals that haven't materialized, while pressing local issues remain unresolved, it fuels a narrative of a government that is out of touch. The lesson from New York is clear. Global influence cannot be bought or declared. It must be built on a foundation of solid domestic governance and genuine regional partnerships. Kenya's ambitions are valid, but for its diplomacy to be truly effective, it needs to bridge the gap between the podium in New York and the priorities of the people in Nairobi, Kisumu, and Mombasa. The ambition is there, but the execution, as the UN General Assembly revealed, needs a serious rethink.